My name is Gilbert Gambucci, and since 1984, I have been working with the most exact science that we have on our planet. We have been bringing solutions to the worst social problems that we had been experiencing. We work from the premise that how can you solve a problem of which you are unaware? That is, how can you solve a problem if you don't know the exact cause, the origin of the problem? And today I'm going to show you what is the origin of this crisis that we are experiencing in the United States and worldwide as a result. I work very closely with the Austrian-Brazilian psychoanalyst, social scientist Norberto Keppe. And you can read more about us and the science of Keppe in my blog, where I've also provided you with links to all aspects of our work. So I propose that, as often as I can, I will bring to you a scientific analysis of the most pressing current event problem that we have. So, for example, in this analysis today, many people are worried about whether or not the Obama recovery package is going to work. And, even if you have billions and billions of dollars to throw out there, it won't work unless you know what is the exact cause of this crisis. We will analyze this for you today. Today you're going to receive a consciousness that no one has. Okay, you're going to have it today. So in order to accomplish this for you, I've selected some excerpts from Norberto Keppe's television programs. These programs are translated into 8 different languages and are aired in more than 40 different countries worldwide. And the native language of Dr. Keppe is Portuguese. And as I live here in Brazil, where I'm presently speaking to you from, I speak Portuguese, and I've taken the liberty to dub these into English, so that the internet, the international community, so that we can take advantage of the insights that Keppe has for us. Are you ready for this consciousness today? It is new. No one has it. So, let's get started. I would like to talk about the beginning of this downfall, because we have been talking about this for a long time now. That when we opened our office in New York, it was a new period that had been inaugurated by Ronald Reagan, where he reinforced speculation, placing the stock exchange in a predominant position in American economy. Instead of continuing to produce machinery, produce agriculture, international commerce, the Americans began to bet more on the stock markets. In Chicago, which is the market dealing with food and livestock, and the stock exchange in New York, which is more the bonds, actions, this type of trading. So Ronald Reagan established a new way of making money because the country was going through economic difficulties and wasn't selling nearly as many machines. Industry wasn't as good as the Japanese industry, nor European industries. In fact, they began to sell less cars than other countries, and the dangers of a debacle in sight related to the sale of materials, such as metals, and the sale of agricultural products, etc. And so they began to manufacture money. So Reagan followed Friedman, the couple, Rose and her husband. In fact, they received a Nobel Prize in Sweden. So they began to eliminate the American industries, commerce, and even agriculture. And when we lived in the United States, we visited the countryside there many times. We saw a lot of farming machinery that had been simply left to rust in the fields. So the American economy became the worth of the properties they had, like their homes, etc. But this isn't a real economy. This is a market economy, a false economy. And this is the decadence that we refer to, that the United States passed from a huge productivity to a form of gambling on the stock exchange. And many people entered into this tendency of making money with money to get more money. All of this. So as we'll be seeing, our problem has not only been these past 8 obviously bellicose years. I'm going to offer you a more profound analysis of our crises. Now, in the 80s, the scientist Kepi was living and working in the United States. And during that time, one of the books that he wrote, he's going to be showing you in this next excerpt. We call it the Decay Book. And this book was written very much in the spirit of the late President John Kennedy, who said that a free society is a critical society. That is to say, it's good to bring up the real problems, analyze them, in order to resolve them and move forward into what Kennedy would call the new frontier. Now, what is interesting is that these problems that were analyzed in this book in the 80s are exactly the same problems that we're having today, which shows that we do not yet have consciousness of the origin of the problem. I'm going to quote from this book, page 49. Actually, Kepi is citing an editor from Southern Illinois who wrote an article entitled Jolly Green Giants from the Progressive magazine. Look at this. The United States lost 34,000 farms in 1982. 34,000 farms in 1 year. And this was the tendency of what was happening during this decade. According to government statistics, these farmers were victims of a few multinational marketing companies and the banks. So this shows one of the types of problems that was occurring at this time. Take a look at the next excerpt. In 1984, I wrote a book about the decay of the American people and of the United States. So I wrote it to show that this politics of Reaganomics, speculation, would destroy that country because it would lead the people to stop working, and industry would stop producing, and agriculture would go bankrupt. And this has, in fact, happened. They put all their industry into other countries and installed a process of buying all their food from other countries. Because when we visited those farm regions there, where they used to plant, all of them said, the farmers said, that it was a lot cheaper to buy from abroad with $1 that is worth a lot of money than to produce within the United States. So due to this, we've seen the end of American agriculture, which had produced the real economy.